Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Sai SATCHARITRA, an Insight. Episode 209. My humble prostrations at the lotus feet of our Sadguru Sai. By the divine grace of Sai, an attempt has been made to translate the gist of the divine discourse of Sri Ramanathan brother telecasted in Sai TV. This is purely done to share the glory of Sai and his divine teachings with more insight to the aspirants. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Devotees, in the previous episode, we listened to the devotion and dedication that Appa Sahib Kulkarni revealed in worshipping the photo of Sri Sainath Maharaj. In continuation with that, let's listen to the divine experience Sri Sai Baba bestowed upon him. Appa Kulkarni was working in Thane district. The political situation that prevailed during those days was very challenging. It was the time when the British Army was participating in the First World War and the Britishers wanted to send Indians to the war field on their behalf. They needed big troop of soldiers as many were already killed in the war. To strengthen the army, the Britishers were busy in gathering many Indian soldiers. For this sake, they sent a government order to all the chief officials working in the revenue department to collect a specified number of soldiers from their zone. So the revenue officials traveled from place to place, spoke to people about the benefits that they can avail by joining the army, such as in addition to their salary, they can buy their monthly provisions at a subsidized rate, ticket concession during travel will be honored by the government for their services, and so on. In this way, they had to motivate and get the youngsters to join the Indian Army to fight in the First World War for Britishers. What a pathetic situation for Indians. Appa Kulkarni was also holding a higher post at Thane district, so he also received the government order on the above subject. This was a very tedious task. And it is like the family planning program that was implemented many years ago. The government would set a target and force the health department officials to convince the married couples by highlighting the importance of this program and influence them to adopt this program. The health officials went village to village and created awareness in the minds of the people about this program and made this program a successful one. Now, the same was with gathering soldiers for the Indian Army. This was a challenging one for Appa Kulkarni. So, he and his team charted out a schedule to travel to different places to meet the youngsters, convince them and get them enrolled in the Indian Army. In connection to that, they planned to travel from Thane to Bhiwandi on this assignment. Bhiwandi was just 20 kilometers away from Thane district. Appa Kulkarni, being an officer of higher cadre, was given a separate tonga and a person to drive it. Before leaving to Bhiwandi, he told his wife that he might take 8 days to return, hence advised her to take care of the kids and to continue the worship of Sri Sai Baba. He reached Bhiwandi, and on the second day of his stay there, a saint came to Appa Kulkarni's home at Thane early in the morning. The saint was wearing a white kafni, covered his head with a cloth, and his features were like the one in the picture of Sri Sai Baba at their home. Looking at him, the wife was so happy. She and her 2 daughters had never had the darshan of Sri Sai Maharaj. But stunned at the similarities, She asked the saint, "Are you Shirdi Sai Baba?" The saint replied thus, "I am not Shirdi Sai Baba, but I am his servitor. I was directed by him to find the well-being of you and the children. Hence, I came here to check on you and bless you." Immediately, the lady offered 1 rupee as dakshina. The saint blessed her and the children and gave a small packet as prasad. That packet consisted of little sandal powder, few akshatas, petals of flowers, and sacred ashes. He also instructed her thus: "Place this packet next to Sri Sai Baba's picture, and that will bestow grace upon your family." Appa Kulkarni's wife felt very blessed, and she did as directed by the saint. The saint took his leave. Now at Bhivandi, same day, the horses of Appa Kulkarni fell sick. Hence, he could not use his tonga to travel to the neighboring places to meet the youngsters of those villages. So, he handed over the responsibility to his subordinates and returned to Thane. As soon as he reached home, his wife narrated about the arrival of the saint, the dakshina she offered her, and the sacred prasad given by the saint. Appa Kulkarni was greatly excited to hear this. He was reconfirming if the saint looked like Sri Sai Baba. Devotees, we have heard that he performed his puja to the picture of Sri Sai Baba with great devotion and love. Thus, he was upset for missing the darshan of the saint that was sent by Sri Sai Maharaj. Most importantly, he also resembled Sri Sai Baba. Appa Kulkarni also felt that at least ₹10 must have been offered as dakshina to the saint and shared his thoughts to his wife. He asked her when the saint came. She said just a couple of hours ago. Appa Kulkarni didn't eat his lunch. His heart was longing to have the darshan of the saint. Hence, he went out in search of him. As the saint's robe was like the one worn by Sri Sai Baba, which is similar as that of the Mohammedan awliyas, he decided to search in a place where they can be found. So went to the famous mosque at Thane. But he couldn't find anyone as described by his wife or bearing the features of Sri Sai Baba. Then he went to the Takia. This is known as the resting place of the awliyas, but of no avail. He began to search in the places usually preferred by Muslim saints. Despite making a diligent search, he couldn't find the whereabouts of the saint that visited his home. With a dejected mind, tired body, and hungry, he returned home, regretting for missing the opportunity of having the darshan of the saint sent by Sri Sai and unable to offer the dakshina he desired. Appa Kulkarni had not eaten his lunch. He was also hungry, so he finished his meal. His daughters also described to him about the saint. After lunch, he was taking some rest. At that moment, his friend by name Chitre, who was in the same neighborhood, came to meet him. They both decided to go for a walk. Within few minutes of their walking, they found an awliya approaching them at a rapid speed. Chitre had no clue of the awliya, but Appa Kulkarni felt that he could be the same saint that visited his home this morning. He was very eager to meet him. The awliya came straight to Appa Kulkarni and stretched his palm for dakshina. He didn't do that with Chitre. Appa Kulkarni forgot about his earlier vow to offer ₹10 as dakshina and just picked up 1 rupee from his pocket and handed over to the saint. The saint pocketed it and again asked for dakshina. Appa gave another rupee. The saint kept it in his pocket. For the third time, he stretched his palm and 1 more rupee was given. This was the last rupee that Appa had, so he borrowed from his friend Chitre ₹3 and gave it to the saint. Altogether, ₹6 was given as dakshina by Appa Kulkarni. But the fakir doesn't seem to be satisfied. Still he asked for more dakshana. Appa Kulkarni could observe the aura on the face of the saint. He was certain that the fakir is not a mere human but a divine soul. Hence, Appa wasn't getting irritated when the saint was repeatedly asking for money. Appa Kulkarni said, "We don't have any more money with us now, as we just came out to stroll outside after our lunch. So, if you need more money, you can follow me to my home, and I shall offer you." The Avliya was prepared to go to Appa Kulkarni's home. Now all the three walked towards Appa's home. As soon as they reached home, Appa picked up 3 1-rupee notes and offered it to the saint. Altogether, ₹9 has been given to the saint. Still, Avliya doesn't seem to be satisfied. He again stretched his palm. Appa Kulkarni said, "I don't have any more coins. I only have currency note." The saint said, "Okay, then give me that." Now Appa gave a 10-rupee note to the Avliya. Now listen to the wonder. If the Avliya would have been a mere fakir, he would have felt extremely happy to get a 10-rupee note, and when summed up with the coins, it will be ₹19, he would have left the place cheerfully. But the one in the form of the saint is the all-pervasive, omniscient, supreme Lord Sri Sai Maharaj. His intention was not to collect money, but to bless Appa. Hence, he kept the 10-rupee note in his pocket and returned the 9 1-rupee coins back to Appa Kulkarni as a blessing from him. Appa Kulkarni was surprised at this action of the Avliya, because he thought the Avliya is not satisfied with the offering. Hence, he was repeatedly asking for more money, which was given by Appa Kulkarni. To his astonishment, the Avliya only kept a 10-rupee note on his pocket and said, "This is sufficient," and returned the rest of the money to him. The Avliya kept on asking for money until he received a 10-rupee note, as that was the desire of Appa Kulkarni to offer to the Avliya. To satisfy the wish of his devotee, Sri Sai Maharaj played this wonderful divine sport. Hemat Panji says this ₹9 is considered as holy, as it indicates the Navavida Bhakti, that is 9 types of devotion. This number 9 cannot be forgotten by Sri Sai devotees, as in the later years, at the time of attaining Mahasamadhi, Sri Sai Baba gave 9 coins to Lakshmi Bai Shinde out of the money he had collected from Dakshana. This was one of the greatest blessing any devotee can receive from the Guru, that too at the time of his leaving the mortal coil. We will be discussing about this in the later chapters. Thus, 9 coins were given back to Appa Kulkarni by the saint with his blessings. Appa Kulkarni's heart was filled with joy. The saint took their leave and said, "Shirdi Sai Baba will be looking for me, hence I am going now." As soon as the saint left, Appa Kulkarni asked his wife to show the prasad packet that was earlier handed over by the saint. He looked at all the divine items and felt that they must be preserved well. Hence, he got a talisman made and filled a pinch of sandal powder, sacred ashes, akshata and petals inside it, and wore it on his arms. This talisman endowed him lots of blessings. Devotees, in this chapter, we are discussing about the glory of the sacred ashes given by Sri Sai Maharaj. The previous episode also highlighted the power of Udi through the Jamner miracle, which illustrated the relief that Mainatai got during her labor. In Appa Kulkarni's case, let's see how he reaped the blessings of Sri Sai. The one who was only earning rupees 40 as a monthly income after wearing the talisman that was filled with the divine articles given by Sri Sai, his income increased substantially. Appa Kulkarni was a highly qualified person, well versed in English, and used to converse fluently with the higher officials who were Britishers, and the salary given to him was not in par with his knowledge or qualification. It was much less than what he deserved. Sri Sai Maharaj elevated his status to a very high position. This he did by giving him the sacred ashes. Hemat Panji has very skillfully mentioned in his OV as anything given to Sri Sai Maharaj will be returned by him in tenfold. Sri Sai takes up this bigger responsibility upon him. He doesn't return just in terms of currency, but in the form of status, power, and in all other spheres of life. Isn't this astounding and unbelievable? In the later years, Appa Kulkarni even got a hair of Sri Sai Maharaj. He also added this to his talisman. What is the message Sri Sai Maharaj is willing to impart to his devotees through this Leela? Let's ponder on this remarkable message in the coming episode. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Om Sai Ram.